With that, Mayor Deck, members of Councillor Harris, what happens with that is then what we do is that we go back and look at other funding models that could be done to make that project go. It could be putting more onus on at different avenues such as issuing bonds or otherwise. So we would go back and bring back other options to council for its consideration. Mayor Deck.
Councillor Sandal.
I'm probably at the wrong time, but did the amount of legal costs for the councillors have an impact on the capital budget?
This has nothing to do with the capital budget. That's operating budget and not the capital budget.
You could ask your question about the school, though. Okay, I will ask a question about the school then, because it was brought up yesterday at the public meeting. Have we had confirmation from either Alberta Education or the Sturgeon School Division that we in fact are getting a school built, shovels in the ground next year?
Mayor Deck, members of Councillor Harris, actually, we're the #1 project on Sturgeon School Board's capital list, capital requirements, and so what'll happen, it'll be being vetted through the ministry as it is and the department right now. And so once that happens, then they'll look at putting it in the budget for the 2025 business year.
So that's it? It's the Sturgeon School Division that gives the thumbs up or down?
It would actually come through them through the Ministry of Education and Public Works, because that's where they do the buildings for the government.
Okay. Well, I'm very concerned with this budget. I think that it's outrageous that we haven't had proper preparation as a council to make these decisions. Basically, we've been told what we're voting on. We haven't had a choice as to whether or not.
Do you have a question, Councillor Harris?
It's not question and answer,
It
sir.
is.
It's debate. I am able to express my opinion and my concern about what we are endeavoring on.
But do you have a question specific to the capital budget?
That's irrelevant whether I have a question or not. Councillor Malante has his hand up.
Jay.
I want to call the question.
No. I would like, if that's the case, I would like somebody to get Robert's Rules of Order and find out exactly if that type of, because I am not going to have a 3-minute meeting in front of the public and it being live streamed, and I can't go to the post office and answer a question as to why we are going to raise taxes. Can any of you?
First off, that's the operational budget.
Yep.
Not the capital budget. None of the funding from the capital budget is through the operations. This is what we need to keep the lights on next year, no matter what. And someone with your experience knows that.
Well, in my experience, what we would normally do is we would have 3 or 4 several hour-long meetings, and we would be presented line by line, and we would be the ones making the decision as to whether or not we would like a $30,000 sign at the post office. Okay? We would make the decision. We are not told by administration as to what we're voting on.
All in favor of the
Recorded vote,
2024
please.
capital budget? All opposed? Carried. If there are any more outbursts, you can leave.
Hands up. Approve?
Ma'am, ma'am,
Look, I'm
you
tired
can't,
of you two.
no.
All
You
do
cannot
is ride
speak
around
out.
this goddamn town and do nothing. Spend money.
Ma'am,
No.
you cannot speak like that in the chambers. 4.2, tax rate bylaw, ALT 10-24.
Mayor Deck, members of council, I'd like to turn it over to Monique Jeffrey.
Mayor Deck, members of council, as the 2024 operating and capital budgets have now been adopted by council, administration respectfully requests that council consider passing the 2024 tax rate bylaw number ALT 10-24. The tax rate bylaw includes all the required requisitions collected by the municipality in addition to our municipal taxes. The Edmonton Region CPI as of February 2024 was 4.2%. The operating budget overall increase was 7%. The policing cost was 5.36% of total municipal taxation. So I've given four. So the ones in the blue, those were last year's for 2023. So the top one, average municipal tax increase, there are four suggestions. So if council approves a 4% municipal tax rate increase, the school requisition increase is 2.65. The homeland housing requisition is decreased by minus 0.12. So the overall tax rate increase would be 2.93. If council approves 4.5%, school remains the same, homeland remains the same, and the overall rate increase for the average homeowner is 3.3. If it's 5%, school rate 2.65, seniors minus 1.2, the overall tax rate increase would be 3.67. 5.3%, the school rate 2.65, homeland housing minus 0.12, overall tax rate increase is 3.9%. So non-residential, again, if council approves of 4%, the school rate is 2.88, homeland housing is minus 0.12, so the overall tax rate would be 0.75%. 4.5%, school at 2.8, seniors at minus 0.12, the overall tax rate increase would be 1.14%. 5% for the municipal, school 2.88, homeland housing minus 0.12, overall tax rate 1.54, and 5.5 is school rate 2.88, homeland housing minus 0.12, and the overall tax rate increase would be 1.77. The average residential rate across the province, Calgary 7.8, Lethbridge 5.1, Airdrie 6.99, St. Albert 5.5, Spruce Grove 5.12, Devon 5.25, Wetaskiwin 5.5, Beaumont 6.45, Leduc 5.1, Stony Plain 8.66, Edmonton 8.9, Morinville 4.45, Redwater, they're proposing 2.2, it hasn't been adopted, and Bonaccord, there was nothing at this time. An average residence in Gibbons is assessed at $302,603, which is an increase of $8,374 from last year. And the non-residential average assessment for 2024 has increased by $77,404 to $657,104. So I've provided council with a random tax roll comparison, including all of our different assessment types showing the 2024 tax rate bylaw impact for both the low and the high scenarios, as well as what happens on all four scenarios as compared to the 2023 on each of your personal residences. The Town of Gibbons operating budget requires a net municipal tax of $3,463,862. The Province of Alberta requires a school requisition of $1,019,839.52. Homeland Housing requires a senior housing requisition of $34,004.17. The Province of Alberta requires a designated industrial property requisition for DI properties of $342.17. The Municipal Government Act stipulates that the 2024 tax notice must be mailed before May 31st, 2024. Administration has provided to Council four options of the same bylaw, Alt 10-24, for their consideration. Option 1 has a tax rate increase of 4% with a surplus of $4,438.06. Now the surplus, what that means is that is $4,438.06 more than what you need to cover the operating budget for 2024. Option 2 has a tax rate increase of 4.5 with a surplus of $21,112.51. Option 3 has a tax rate increase of 5% with a surplus of $37,786.93. Option 4 has a tax rate increase of 5.3% with a surplus of $47,792.08. Administration respectfully requests that council consider the following. Provide administration as to which option council wishes to proceed forward for the 2024 tax rate bylaw number ALT-24, and provide first reading of the 2024 tax rate bylaw ALT-24, whether it's options 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Council? Would like someone to make a motion?
I'll make a motion we proceed with option 4% of the 2024 tax rate.
So option 1.
So option number 1.
Sorry.
Any discussion? Amber?
When are we suspecting that second and third reading are going to be held?
Mayor Deck, members of council, I believe in the report it says that it would be the May 8th meeting.
Okay.
Dale?
Just curious, with the surplus for option 1 being $4,438, is that in addition to what our current surplus is, or is that what the total surplus would be for the town?
No, would be an addition.
What, yeah, can I have I'd like that answered as well. What's the surplus? What amount is the surplus?
Monique?
Yes. The surplus that was on the books at the end of last year is $61,500. Anticipated $60,000 from the water fund for a total of $120-some thousand. $56,520 are used in the capital budget. $64,980 would be remaining.
So that's our reserve account, is that what I understand?
$291,591 is also in the off-site levies. There would be $3,836 left of the CCBF and $62,412 of the LGFF, for a total of $422,821.
Amber?
Can I ask how much in total interest we are paying per year on all of the projects that we are financing?
I don't have that off.
That's back to capital budget, though.
Okay,
What about option 0? Option 1, no change, and you shave your budget, shave the expenses.
I love that idea.
Motion on the floor.
Recorded, please.
All in favor of the tax rate bylaw ALT 10-24? All in favor?
Puppet master in the middle there, who didn't even
All
bother to
opposed?
come to the open forum last
Opposed.
night to
Carried.
Recorded.
listen to the citizens. The guy we paid
Adjourned.
$160,000 to.
You all should be ashamed of yourself.
Really?
Your Honor, we still didn't have first reading of the tax rate bylaw.
Yes, we did.
No, they just went for a motion for option 1. Tax rate bylaw did not come forward.
Okay, point of order. Then, on point of order, because there's stuff on the agenda, then the motion to adjourn is not accepted.
So what did we just vote on?
Just on option 1,
Yeah,
That's correct.
correct?
and
Now the tax rate bylaw in first reading.
I'll make the motion for first reading.
recorded, please.
All in favor? All opposed? Carried. Adjourned.
Call to order. Don't wanna go? Vote, put your hands up. Everyone but Amber. Thank God for her.
Well, normally what we would do is we would be able to go line by line with all of this information.